Well, glory be and mercy me, we've done it yet again. Here we are, walk through the graveyard day. It's actually a beautiful day today. Happy New Year to each and every single one of you. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you guys had a good New Year. I took some days off from doing this. We all deserve a little time off, don't we? We all deserve a little break from the regular, from the everyday. And that seems to be exactly what our leadership is doing to us. Taking a little break from governing, taking a little break from the idea that they should be responsible people who actually give a shit. For example, here in Ontario, Doug Ford is finally now, after we're getting up to 16,000, 17,000 cases daily, finally now Doug Ford is starting to say, yeah, maybe we should do something about this Omicron variant. Maybe we should actually care about our own citizenry. Maybe we should actually sit down and actually talk about maybe continuing to do something. Our leadership is getting into a position now where it is preparing to abandon us. When the pandemic first began, as I've talked about plenty on this channel, there was a knee-jerk reaction from political leadership across the board to actually go, oh hey, we should actually pass some legislation, something like the CERB, for example, to actually help people, right? As we have to shut down businesses, as we have to actually make sure that, people don't die from a plague that's sweeping through. Well, you know what the big problem is during the middle of all that? We have this capitalist system that doesn't actually work, doesn't actually benefit anybody. And so let's erect new systems. Something like a basic income, something like the CERB was, which they did in a week after telling us for several years that a basic income would be, too difficult, takes forever to implement all of this. Anyway, but now that's all over and done with. Here in Canada, they're working overtime and trying to figure out as many ways as they possibly can to eliminate something like the CERB, to eliminate support systems, to eliminate these sorts of things, while trying to convince a gullible and willing populace that, these were just temporary measures, right? No, capitalism certainly is the best way to organize yourselves. The best way to organize yourselves is to sell yourself to a rapacious death cult who's hell-bent on destroying the planet while lying to you, pretending like everything's totally fine, right? That's definitely the way to organize a civil society, right? Right? No more has this abandonment become more obvious than in the CDC decision to reduce the amount of isolation days from 10 to 5. Well grabbed on by the populace, well spotted by the populace, especially as people like even Dr. Fauci coming out and outright admitting that the reason why the decision is made is to just get people back to work faster. Now, all of this abandonment, all of this bailing on the population should really reveal something to you and should make it very clear, which is something, again, I say all the time on this channel. The capitalist system is weak. It's extremely fragile. It can't withstand even minor alterations to its course. It isn't agile. It cannot respond rationally to the needs of the populace, and in fact, operates specifically to destroy said populaces after extracting as much value as it possibly can from it. What we are seeing with a decision, this CDC decision, is a desperation attempt to get as many people back to work as fast as possible. And what this should tell you, and the lesson that you should be learning, is that if you go on strike for even a week, it cripples these places. These psychopaths who have been running a campaign of death against the populace for the last 40 years cannot withstand even 1 week of a strike. They can't have workers out of work for 10 days to isolate as a virus comes through and claims their lives. What do you think would happen if you actually organized together and if you actually started talking to one another as workers and you actually said, you know what, we're not going to take this anymore, we're going to go on strike? And take a look at what's been happening to the people who have been going on strike. The Kellogg's workers, completely successful, got everything they wanted, no compromise. The John Deere workers got everything they wanted, no compromise. The unionizing workers at Starbucks, they got to unionize, no loss, no decline in anything. The capitalist class is working as hard as it can to try to ensure that you do not recognize that your strategies for dealing with their abandonment are powerful and that they work. Unionization works. Bringing these places to their knees with mass strikes works. And as we move forward into 2022, the capitalist class is going to do everything it can to abandon us further. That's who they are. They can't help themselves. They've lost the ability to have compassion and empathy. They don't have the capability to even understand how to begin having those emotional feelings. They're gone. And so, when you are organizing, when you are fighting back against your abandonment, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. Lord knows they don't. They can't. This is something that everybody needs to begin understanding a lot more clearly, I think, than we actually do, right? Billionaires are not like you. Every study we have ever done on the mass accumulation of wealth through time has shown us very clearly that once you hit a certain wealth threshold, that wealth threshold being you are able to literally alter the world around you to create fabricated realities. You never have to interact with people in your society. Everyone around you is just people you pay. Once you enter that reality, you lose the ability to have empathy and compassion. You simply cannot experience these emotions. And so, the response from the billionaire class to people who are actually fighting for their rights, fighting for their survival in many cases, is just a petulant, childish squalling, where they actually will spend more money fighting against unionization efforts, fighting against these people, than it would cost them to just give in to their demands. You understand how childish this is? You understand how childish these people are? That they will literally destroy the system they rely on, the ecosystems, in order to inflate their already inflated egos and bank accounts. We are well beyond needing to even ask these people for permission. We are well beyond even consulting or considering what these people think about a single thing. These people need to be brought to their knees and humbled, at least. At bare minimum. These people need to be brought back down to the earth and reminded that they are, in fact, our peers and equals, at least. And the way to do this is to cease participating in their madness. Because what we are experiencing is a form of cultural madness, a mass hysteria that has been brought on completely by the fact that we have given enormous amounts of power to psychopaths. It needs to end. It should end. And it's going to become completely obvious to anyone with a brain in their head that our political leadership, as well as our corporate leaders, are gearing up to completely abandon us. Don't let them. All right, this is the end of this video, you guys. If you made it here, like, share, subscribe, spread it around. YouTube doesn't, right? They do everything they can to suppress leftist voices. So if you don't share it, no one sees it. That's the true reality. Speaking of that, I got a Patreon down below. Even $1 would help, guys. Even $1 would help. We've got to fight back against this death cult. It is hell-bent on the destruction of the species. And if we don't fight back, it will wipe us out. Always remember, you are a quantum being walking around in quantum energy. These billionaires are spending hundreds of billions of dollars to try to convince you that you are less than that. Because if you realize, then maybe you'll recognize that you are actually their equal and not their subordinate. Rebel, revolt, repent. Good luck. We're gonna need it.